Thank you very much. Indeed. That was meant to be an icebreaker. That's one way for us to feel at ease. Do you think she has done a good job? I want to hear your applause. And you can reserve yours for me 30 minutes later. I have 30 minutes with you. Anybody have second thoughts about hanging around with me? 30 minutes will pass just like that. Because we have a timekeeper and we have someone who, like our gentleman here, has so much to share. I will jump straight into the sharing proper. We have someone here who will keep my time. Is that you? MC. So she will notify me in ways that she can get my attention for at the 15-minute mark, followed by the 20-minute mark, and finally at the 25th minute mark. Thereafter, I have 5 minutes and I will end. Why do I make a point like that? There's something about Toastmasters. It is not that something that put our bread in and pop and you have something good for the morning. It's not that toast. But it is the mastery part of how we manage what you want to say. We have a lot to say. Who to say to? How do we say it in an effective manner? And one of it is timekeeping. Now, we didn't start on a very special note. We are 27 minutes into our program, which means by right, I should be ending in 3 minutes if you want to keep the time. But with your forgiveness, we should just start now. I have 28 minutes and just go ahead and start. The art of public speaking. Now we know it is not the art of public mumbling. Yeah, it is not the art of private speaking. It is public speaking. There's a challenge, as some of you have shared. You wouldn't mind mumbling because someone would know you, your dear one at home. But you need to speak clearly if you want to nail a deal. How many of you have this kind of view other than Vincent? That the way you speak has an impact on your business? And raise your hand, including the retirees. I'm sure you have gone through a very illustrious career. How has speaking properly been able to influence your career? Anybody? Vincent obviously has shared. Who else? You mean speaking doesn't affect your career? It does. In other words, if you speak well, you go ahead. You get ahead. Now, DBS CEO's daughter said it also very clearly. I think it is fairly representative. There is a difference between when you speak effectively and you mumble. You may be forgiven among friends. Even you mumble, you know what you're talking about. But when you speak properly, it can make a difference in every facet of your life. So today we talk about speaking in public. We even elevate it to the level of art. Now, I actually didn't give myself this title. It's fairly heavy going. But since given, I'm happy to take it up. Because in Toastmasters, which is an international organization of 100 years, ever since 100 years ago, someone after dinner raised a glass and say, I have something to say, and let's toast to it. Ding, ding, ding. He has never stopped and never looked back. Because we make speaking an art. So today we have this title. Why didn't he call it the science of public speaking? Is there science in public speaking as well? I want to talk about that as well. It's very ambitious. Half an hour talk about art and talk about science, because I don't think we have art without science or science without art. Let's talk about the science. Okay, we may even talk about something which our young lady there talk about, socialize. It is a very important aspect. Today I'm obviously here to sell. So I want to know who I'm selling to. Those who have already signed on for the next 10 years don't have to raise your hand, right? Like Vincent, he signed off, pre-signed for the next 10 years. So I'm going to put him aside. After all, he's my mentor. Right? He has taught me how to speak not so ineffectively. What is that? Don't speak so ineffectively. That means speak better. I joined a club, Raffles Singapore. I've been there for a year plus. And some of the things I do is standing here and be an SAA, with someone who gets the ball rolling, someone who keeps the time, someone who even manages the rest of our procedures. Today I'm here speaking with you half an hour about public speaking. I must have gone some way. In fact, I've not joined more than 2 years. But mind you, don't let this face deceive you in the sense that I'm the older person. Not an old man, but I'm an older person. I'm born in 69. So if I want to retire, I almost get ready. My friends from the Navy, from the Army, from the Air Force can attest to it because they're almost preparing too. Because the force needs them to give way to the other people. And they can find fresh start somewhere. And many of them told me they want to speak in a manner that can impact people. Maybe they want to do a sales job like I'm going to do now. Hey, how many of you are not members? Please boldly raise your hand. Because I'm going to look at you a lot more. Member of any Toastmaster club. Okay, see, speaking, right? You need to be precise. We'll ask you, member of what? Okay, I see some hands. Don't worry. You are still allowed to go home even if you don't do any signing of the paper and so on. But for every occasion that we speak, we actually speak for some reason. We speak to make friends. We speak to influence people. I speak today to let you see that there's value in being a member of Toastmasters. And maybe because of that, you're willing to part with a 100 plus, 200 plus, 300, it depends. SPGG might have a very good deal for you guys for your half yearly or annual membership. Okay, let's get down to it. What's the big deal about Toastmasters? We are a speaking group. We create conditions like what I'm enjoying now, speaking to people, some of whom we know for 2 years, some of whom we have known for years, some of whom we have never known, but only meet today. We can speak to strangers, we speak in public. This is a public place. We can speak even in the parliament if it calls for it. We learn certain skills and we call that an art. But I would like to contest that it's also a science. Without splitting hairs about what is art and what is science, I even want to speak about the heart of public speaking. Just so that from art, we go on to something similar sounding to heart. Why so? Because I want you to, before I complete today's speaking, to go home with some idea that maybe it's not a bad idea to come here, join the SPGG, Toastmasters Club. There's something to offer. I will start with the most obvious. The most obvious is it helps us speak better, which is the art of it. So by standing here, I have to be prepared. I have to know that I have how much time speaking to who and what I want to achieve out of it. I want to achieve this, at least sow some seeds in you that you have this idea, it's not too bad to join. After all, it's not that expensive, it's highly effective, and it's not very threatening. And I could almost feel like I'm a baby again, sinking into a cradle that see me becoming a more effective communicator as well as a leader. And this has no compromise or discrimination, whatever your stage in life. So you can be a semi-retiree, fully retired. You could be just starting on a career. It could be any stage. Take me for example. When I joined, I simply wanted to join contests. I was going for the science of public speaking. Why I say science? The science is this. I pay a certain amount of money. I'll talk about it later. And for that, every month, at least once, I'll be standing in front of people to practice talking. If I speak well, someone will congratulate me and even suggest how I can do better. That's evaluation. In fact, you'll get a dose of that afterwards. If I don't speak so well, same person could suggest to me how I can do better and even demonstrate. So I get to learn if I want to. Now, what if I don't want? Can I say, nah, I don't want to learn that? And nobody will nag me for that. So I get to advance or I get to stay put even if I want to. For me, I want to join the Toastmasters so that one day I can stand on the stage in the US with fully paid flight and hotel to contest with the Angmo. You know who the Angmos, right? Yeah. I like to feel that we can. After all, there are already world champions from Singapore. Why not have another one? Another one. If it takes me 1 year, I would go for it. And the reality is, it won't happen in 1 year. Can it happen in 5? Can it happen in 10? It's possible. I just bought into this science of it is possible. I buy the probability of maybe one day I can stand on the stage of the global stage of competition. Now, if I'm not a member, I will not ever get there. I can be a champion of various things, but I will not be a champion of the World Public Speaking Contest. I like that. And all it takes is for me to appear at least once a month, and it will end up to be a lot. Like this, like that. Every day we can have more, if you want to. And it's a conducive environment for you to want to. If you're so ambitious that you want to be number one in your contest speaking competition, there are contests for you to go to. So apart from a very forgiving environment like this here, which anyone, if you're willing to, you'll be graded. You do a prepared speech like I have, someone is going to evaluate me silently. And sometimes you'll be public as well as an evaluator. So I get to get that. Now, where do I get that? Vincent divulged just now. It could cost thousands of dollars to get a really professional big name to do that for you for 3 days, only for you to hide the notes under your drawer until the day maybe you join an organization. No practice. But here we get at least once a month. Chances are you get more. Because there are 200 over clubs in Singapore, imagine. And all of them do at least once of this. And you are all entitled to visit them if your schedule allows. Plenty of practice. Now, I've just mentioned one aspect of it. I call it science because I calculate, only for 200 to 300 Sing dollars, I can have 1 year of membership. It sounds like a good deal. Are you with me on this? Now, I can just squander it, just $200 to $300. I don't attend anything. So someone come look for me? Yes, in a kind manner and suggest that maybe you want to join us the next time. And if I say no, nobody's going to think that I owe them something. But the important thing to me is, what if I want to? I can join a club contest. I can join the area contest. I can join a division contest, district contest. I can advance all the way, even to the US. So there is a possibility I'm buying into it. I get enough practice to it. And I like that. Okay, so it's a small price to pay. That's for ambitious people. How many of you already want to go to the US to contest? Nobody? Yeah, cannot be. When I stand on the stage to compete, I find everybody is looking like I want to go to the US. First, I want to be Singapore champion. Then I will contest in the region and finally in the US for the global stage. So maybe you are hiding, you are too modest. Imagine you want to do that, even after retiring. You have a lot of things to say, and I'm sure the other gentlemen have. You can organize this energy into this context. This is but one. Huh? What if all you want is something else? What if one is a space to watch other people? Do you think Toastmasters is a place to just sit and watch people? That's what you are doing now. Yeah, you'll be allowed to. It's okay. My mentor once told me, I don't want to do this, I want to do that, because he picks and chooses what enriches his life, and I respect it. This is a place in which you'll be allowed to be who you are. You don't have to be competitive. You can be very social about it and just be there to help out with some other roles. I still haven't gone a lot into the art of public speaking, right? Because I'm in the art of selling first before I speak. I want you guys to have a positive impression of Toastmasters Club in Singapore. Now you get an idea. It's a place to contest. It is also a place to make friends. Fair enough? It's also a place for you, if you want to take on certain roles at a meeting. Today we have some roles. They may be invisible to some of our guests here. Someone must have organized this. First, sponsor a meeting like this, meaning put it together. Someone must have designed a program sheet so that we know when to show up and what time. Someone would run this as the Toastmasters of the evening, whom I will hand over this session to. Someone must speak. Sometimes it's a special talk. I want mine to be special to you. And someone will prepare some speeches only to be evaluated. There's even an occasion afterwards, and it's pretty ambitious. About 10 to 12 of you will get a chance to stand here just for 1 to 2 minutes to talk about a topic which you will know only when it happens. We call it table topics. Now, there is variation of the ways in which you can practice how you can time yourself to speak meaningfully. Whether it's 1 to 2 minutes, 3 to 4 minutes, 5 to 7, or in my case, 30 minutes. We get to practice. And as you practice, the science of it still that you can actually calculate what progress you have. We have what we call the pathway. What do you think about when someone mentioned the word pathway? Anybody? Does it remind you of a certain imagery? Pathway? Dreamy. Yeah? The road, yes. Remind you of a certain place on earth that pathway is very meaningful to you? I thought of one. Does path mean something to you? Finding your path, leading the path? Finding your purpose? Yeah. It reminds you of Nepal. Does anyone of you do trekking? Anyone? Likes trekking, climb mountains? There are many paths, right, to get to the summit. So likewise, we have right now at least 6 paths for you to take to hone your leadership skills, speaking skills, management skills, and stuff like that. This is what we have. Now, just in case you find that I'm going all around and you're not getting anything, just get one thing will do. If today there's just one thing that you can grab and take home, you'll be enough. I'll be very happy. Be it contests, be it just make friends, be it helping out, even prepare some bihun for people to eat and be congratulated for being so social and friendly and neighborly. It all can happen here. And of course, if you want to chart your progress, that, okay, I actually know how to speak in front of the people, letting them know I am Terry and what are my hobbies and what is it I want to accomplish in life. As an icebreaker, we give you 4 to 6 minutes to do that. And you start your pathway. And by the time you finish your pathway, you do a reflection. You say, wow, it has been these months that I started off with introducing myself and move on to create purpose. Someone mentioned purpose in my speech. Maybe the purpose is just to psycho more people and to join my club. That's fine too. That's fine too. You speak with purpose. And you find that you can actually improve on it by using certain body language, not like, hello everybody, you can join my club, it's very fun here. You can do something, some gestures that will accentuate, not complicate things. Maybe you can speak louder, softer, faster, slower, move ahead and meet someone and shake the hand, or move over to somewhere else and distribute the attention. You will learn about eye contact because someone will evaluate you. And the most beautiful thing is you're not paying thousands of dollars. You're just paying 200 to 300 Singapore dollars on average. On average, yeah. And SPGG, I'm sure, will give a very reasonable package to you guys. And for 1 year, you get to be literally created into the kind of growth you want. You adopt your pathway. You can chart your progress. There'll be those who want to go very fast, and there'll be those who want to take their time. How's that so far? Soak it in. What aspect of it is what you want? In retirement, in new venture, in a new stage in life, how can it help you? For me, it has helped me quite a lot because I still want to contest. My route of getting to there is I want to know how to manage clubs and even multiple clubs first. So strangely, instead of putting myself on a stage, I appear at different kind of stage management. So if you like to be community-minded, like People's Association, which are big clubs, many multiple zones, we happen to have that. Since we are a volunteer, we don't pay anybody to be in a managerial or leadership role, but you can be entitled to contest or vie for some roles. You see, now this is a yellow light. Can anybody tell me what does it mean? Oh, this is green. So you know I'm colorblind, right? I am, okay. Oh, this is green. What does it signify? Halfway mark for me. 15 minutes, because I had asked the timer to tell me that. So your torture is halfway there. You're almost redeemed. Yeah, I only have half of the enjoyment left. This is timekeeping. Now, I have adopted another route which all of you are entitled to, which is to serve, which is also to lead. If you believe that to lead is to serve, this is the wonderful place. To serve means I have to help more people understand clubs, organizations, roles, and how they can progress as in competition or as a person chartering their own progress. All this can be done. And in fact, you can be in a position to charter new clubs as well. I'm saying all this because I want you to take it in that what are the things that could be suitable for you. It's different strokes for different folks indeed. And all of this, I'm very delighted that I get to have a little bit of everything. It's almost like the buffet outside. You can have various kind of dishes. And what will work for you? I would like you to discover it. Now, having said all these science, which is calculation, which simply means how much money I need to spend and how much time I need to spend in order to have a role or a space here. It's not a lot of money. It's about $200 to $300 a year. And it's not a lot of time if you don't want to. It's a lot of time if you want to. Yeah, it can be all your time. I don't want to bluff you on this, right? But it can be merely once a month, 3 hours, showing up here, like 6:30 to 9:30. That will be fun. And do all the things you want to do. Socialize only, and or take on a certain role, and or do a speech, and or evaluate, and or jump into the table topic, say, hi, I got 2 minutes, I'm going to talk about this, because the time is given to you. So, up to you. It's almost like a rubber band, you can stretch it either way. I have my own way of going around this. That's why I'm motivated. From our unit just now, I rush all the way here. I know some of you actually go for even more far-flung places. Why is that worth it? Because we have our own direction. And this is a place to make it happen. In fact, we like to say that here is where leaders are made. Leaders. It's not the kind of leader that will lead in parliament. It's the kind of leader who lead ourselves on our own pathway, and along the way be able to shed some light on other people. That I have also enjoyed. Now, so far, it's just the calculation of the time and the money. I want to get that out of the way. That's indeed art in public speaking. If it works for you, I in fact have a chart my mentor gave me and say, hey, this cheat sheet will allow you to say anything under the sun. Actually, it's not a cheat sheet. It's a quick way of getting into it. So, if now we have a topic, does anybody want to humor me by standing up and joining me on a just 1 minute rattle off a topic? Does anybody want to join me? So the game is this. You stand up, I give you a topic, and you just talk about it just for 1 minute. Anybody want to try that? Usually no, unless we have like Toto, we have a champion, we have buffet, we have stuff, right? Okay, we change it around. You don't have to pay me, you don't have to give me a price. Like anybody want to give me a topic. In army, we call it the tekan. You tekan me with a topic. There are, cham, liao, finish, don't know how to say. Anybody wants to tekan me? Just throw something at me. Anyone? A topic, yes, sir.
Is UN still applicable in today's context?
Steady, very good. I should need 20 minutes in TED Talk. I'll look for that. But now I will take 1 minute first. Is UN still valid in today's context? UN as a United Nations. UN as a standing together of various countries doing the same thing. I've always believed that men who stand alone don't go very far. Alone we can go fast, that's about it. But only together we go further. Nations exist to serve the individuals. United Nations exist to serve nations, and therefore the people. Conceptually, it's always valid. But in today's context, it can be valid so long as they are able to put aside differences. Chopsticks are strong when they are bundled together because you can't just break it like this. But if these chopsticks look like they're together, but they're placed here, there, and so different, so enemy will come and just break one. What do you think the UN looks like? A bundle of chopsticks or chopsticks just spread all over the floor? I venture to say that they still have what it takes to bundle together. But so long as they prefer to be separate, then they are never useful in the first place. I hope for the better that even give me half a chance, I think we will bundle together. So this must be yellow. So I have 10 minutes more. And thank you, sir, for that question. How do you think I've done just now? Make some sense? Okay. Now, this one, we didn't know each other before. We just know each other. So we didn't rehearse this. So I rattle off like this. It's not to show off, please. It's not to show off. It's not to say that you join Toastmasters, we'll groom you to be like this. What? Not really that. But if you want to, there are avenues for you to just speak off the cuff like that. And what I've just done. And there are means for us to even learn by heart. I'm not recommending that you must do that, but if you want to distill, someone will say, hey, Terry, that 1 minute, what do you say? You actually have come up with a point that it is relevant. And you give a reason because individuals don't go very far together, they can serve each other. I go on to say nation and therefore United Nations. That's the reason. The example is that of a chopsticks. And finally, my point is, I still believe that it has a place so long as we want it to happen. So what I've just done, I've used any deserving trainer would say, oh, this guy used a 4-part. The P, R, E, and P together is called prep. The first P is the point he wants to make. What's the point? Let it be known within 10 seconds, followed by a reason. Why? Followed by an example to elaborate and substantiate. And finally, reiterate what I've said just to bring home the point. We can do that for long speeches like half an hour. We can do that for 2 minutes table topics you should try afterwards. I think there'll be no fewer than 10 people can try that. You can cling on to just PREP, and you always use it. And I think it's still possible to win the US contest and be global champion. I believe it can be done. But there are many other models. Yeah, I am glad that I could grapple with this. As someone who speaks it, as someone who evaluates it, as someone who takes it apart and put it back together. Okay, just now was just a demo. Does anybody want to try table topics? You can raise your hand and our table topic master will take note of you. Anybody? You can change your mind later. Yeah. So you find that it's going to be like, woo, Terry is a live streamer by day. He's used to silence because he just look at the phone and pretend that there are millions of people looking at him. But in public speaking, the art of it is, we can look into the eyes of my timer. Oh yeah, I'm left with 8 minutes, I know. And I'm going to look into the eyes of a mister here who is listening intently and I may want to engage him. We know that this is fresh, young people, and not just immediate front, people to the left. And you're going to shake their hand a little bit, Dennis. Yeah. And people also to the right. And in fact, in the back, at the back, because they will feel like they want to be engaged. Like our friend over here, you study here and you study all over the world, I remember. Yeah. So we tend to remember some people and engage with them. This goes into the art of public speaking. Some people we already know, some we don't, and we can engage them. I know here, there are many of you who have corporate experience. You must be sizing up. Is this good enough for you? Just think of the science of it, very simple. The economic value of it is just that little bit of damage. The time is flexible, depending on how much you want to spend, so that the science get it out of the way. The art is the one in which you are now putting in practice what those masters have charged you a lot of money for, and you get to practice it. Whether PREP can work, or do you prefer something else? The Oreo. Oh, you can change whatever you want and give it fresh, new, mint fresh terms as well. Like Gerald, my good friend here, he will throw everything out only to bring them back in very entertaining manner. So you will have a bunch of people who are very experienced, whom you can learn from, and they're very modest. They say they learn from us as well. So out of it is an exchange, the exchange of energy. That's what I call it in public speaking in Toastmasters. Nobody pretend to be the best because there would only be better for yourself. So if you join us, you're actually allowing yourself to join something like this, which brings me to this point about the heart. I'm very heartened that there are people unlike me, not here, firstly, want to join a contest, win trophies. Because after a while, you'll find it all meaningless. There must be something more to winning trophies, getting on stage and getting applause. There's something at the end of the day could call relationships, could call friendships that you can make in Toastmasters. Vincent has joined for more than 10 years. There's some of us here who have joined for even more years, 20 over years. Anyone here more than 20 years? Many years. They look like they have been here for decades because they've contributed a lot. But the fact is we have been around for 100 years, and in Singapore, as what we define as DAT, is 20 years. But actually, existing in Singapore more than 20 years. Now, you don't have to really count these numbers. You just have to ask yourself, does it touch your heart and become a place in which, I have 5 minutes more, a place in which you can grow as a person. And I think that is what heart is about. Heart is a place where we grow fonder about ourselves and about people. So allow me to just summarize with the last 5 minutes. The Toastmasters is a global organization. It has 250,000 members or more, and in 100 over countries, and in Singapore alone, 200 over clubs. It suggests that by joining one club like SPGG, you will be entitled to visit any club anywhere in the world. Conceptually, it is. In fact, you're entitled to, it's your rights. It's just whether you want to do that. Think about it. You go to Bahamas, hey, there's a club and you can join them on your holiday, would you? You go to Tokyo and you find that there's a lunchtime meeting and you can join them. Would you want to do that? Online and offline, or even hybrid sometimes. So much flexibility. You get recognized as a Toastmasters, not the one who works very busily in the kitchen. No, but someone who is able to bring public speaking onto a level of an art, who is being appreciated for conscientiously tracking his own progress and helping others progress as well. And for that, you pay 200 to 300 Sing dollars a year, usually. And I think SPGG has a good package. I keep saying that because I heard there are some important people here. Is Jake here? Is Chris here? Chris, you are the one who decide what price you pay, huh? No, okay. But if you want discount, we get for you, right? Okay, can. Don't give them pressure, they are the EXCO, they work very hard. So now we are offering you another way to offer back to your members more value, public speaking. Yeah. And apart from it, make friends and speak better as a person. I've always thought that speaking is not just about winning contests, it's also about organizing ourselves. Imagine how many of you find that you always want to win an argument with your spouse at home? Ubo? Anybody? Laughing is what? Lost cause, huh? Always lose, right? But you can try. Like now, I'm left with only 3 minutes. If I can go on and on, there'll be no end. Most of the time, it's because let me speak, listen to me. Wow, no problem. I can listen to you. It's just 2 minutes. So after table topics, you should try, right? Say, oh, if only my wife will stand here. 2 minutes, okay? Great. And 30 seconds to finish. Within 2.5 minutes, you should end. Let's have some rules. Once we have that rules, the whole heart of public speaking will kick in. I respect your time. I will listen carefully for your 2.5 minutes. And thereafter will be my turn. And you can evaluate based on what I like about what you spoke. This is a rule, we must agree. What I like about what you spoke in the 2.5 minutes. Hey, what I think you can work on. And it will work marvelous, not just for you and for me. Isn't that wonderful? How about building that into your boy-girl relationship as well? Listening is a skill, yes, but listening is also an allotment. So how about 1 or 2 minutes not enough? How about I get you prepared for a week, come back, I give you 5 to 7 minutes. And like MC, will show the green, will show the yellow, and follow the red. And give you a little bit of slack, another 30 seconds to complete. See, become a lot more reasonable. And that's where heart and the art and the science all come together. There's certain rules. So would you be surprised if I were to say that the Toastmasters is also a place to meet someone who could be over time romantically linked to you? Do you think it's believable? Could it be? Okay, don't come with these intentions because I cannot guarantee anything, right? But it is a place in which people can reasonably discover themselves and the people around them. Because it is a place that speaks to reason, that speaks to the heart, and altogether support the growth of the individual. Yeah, I hope in a nutshell that gives you an idea of today's point about the art of public speaking. I have deliberately made it into a sales pitch. My intention is for those who raised your hand just now, and for those who did not, because you're afraid that I'll sell you something, don't be afraid. I am here to sell you something. Yeah, this is a demo meeting and we want you to come back for more. If you want me to come back, I'll be come back to talk about something else, because that's what I relish in, and you can do the same. Come back and talk about something as a prepared speech. You'll get someone to evaluate you. Come back and join the table topics. In fact, you can do it right away. Right after I hand over to our Toastmasters of the evening, you guys are free to enjoy yourself and you are relieved from me. But I will be happy to come back and share more. So with that, I want to thank everyone for your attention. I am Terry and I'm one of you. Thank you. And may I invite the Toastmasters of the evening. She has a very sweet name, Dreamy. Oh, yeah. May I? Yes, sir.
Can you enlighten us what's your EH5?
Oh, okay. Hey, I've been praying for this. He took you 30 minutes to ask me this. This is called bragging rights.
What is that?
Bragging. 好练. You know, 好练 as in army, I got this, right? You call this the wing. This wing is the Brunei one. That one is the, yeah. No, it's not that. It's not bragging. If bragging means I wouldn't have one, I have more. Okay, so I'm joking, but I'm not effective, right? So I could do something. I say this is not bragging. It's a tracking of how much work I have done for myself. You see, it doesn't influence other people in the sense of, it's just a number. It means I have attempted in this pathway called engaging humor. Short form, engaging humor. Trying to be humorous. Engaging humor. Try to be humorous. Those people who are very humorous won't try this. Those who need to be better will do this, like me. I try to be humorous. Engaging humor, I have done level 1, done, 2, done, 3, done, 4, done, 5, done. So 5. Like karate, you got first done, second done, third done. Maximum is 5. So 5 done already, right? Actually, can rub away lah. But brag, I say, hey, I suffer a lot, you know. How lian, right? So anybody want to tell me what is PM? Yeah, she has an answer. Presentation mastery. There are 4 others. So one day I will do. That means I finish all the 6. Now in the new pathways. Okay. But I just want to share with you, this is something that we remind ourselves that we can always be better. So there's even one that is very interesting. It's called DTM. So one day, bear with me, just join the club. Because you join, I will work harder, okay? I will rub away all this and just put a DTM. What does it stand for? Distinguished Toastmaster. Yeah. Someone also say, don't talk too much. Don't talk too much. Okay, it's distinguished Toastmasters. It's a certain level of achievement for ourselves, mind you, to remind ourselves that yes, I have achieved what our SAA today say, social. I have achieved organization. I have achieved personal speaking effectiveness, leadership, all rolled into one. It is worth achieving. It is not something we do in our career. Early, late, or any time is good. I want to thank you for this question. You allow me to elaborate on it. Thank you. There are a lot more. Thank you, guys. Thank you. And with that, I want to welcome our lovely Toastmasters of the evening. I said that she has a sweet name, and I want to emphasize that. Dreamy.